Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. I'm OP, and in today's episode we'll be going over some of the best highlights from all of the LPL Spring matchups of the day. Without further ado, let's dive straight into the action.
Potential. I don't like it because I think you should always go Dark Seal early anyway, and as soon as you get Dark Seal and Amptone, you don't need the D-mats anyway, but you can see
the thought process.
You see the thought process there. You can see that a lot of RA mains don't agree with that, so I'm going to throw that out there from our community to the pro players and say, hey, listen to us, this is not autopilot, you don't have to go this every time. But just watch what's happening there in terms of that setup from Shanks. He'll go towards Merc Dreads, and then we'll see.
Really feels like it might be worth the default in power, but now the level 6 come through on the Nocturne. Was waiting for the moment, but the volley ult turnaround means the counter engage is there. We talked about it not even a minute ago, and already anyone's legend strikes second.
He has the paranoia yet again. Looks like he will be going to the stride breaker as well, and with Harry and Croco in river, this could be dangerous. The hook misses.
Oh, we've seen that happen a few times to Nautilus. Is the hook not quite on the right target? Tangman will throw down the Pop Blossom, but it's onto a Rakan. The Stormbringer is in, and Breathe, he's on his last breath.
And it is such a gasp of disappointment. Because RNG, they swing and miss again. They start the play, but with the going into a volley bear, not catching him immediately, and allowing him to reinitiate the fight with his ultimate has worked out disastrously for RNG twice in a row now. Anyone's Legend, we've often criticized them for being a team which have not been that connected as Hope. He's popping his ult. He's going to get feared all the same.
He's fine. Wade's just dead. You cannot save. You just lose a 1v1. You don't win that. And now LWX has got to deal with Hope, with the skies, with the blood, the storm, blah, blah, blah. Everyone's dead. What?
He has the double buffs and he just ends up turning it around. There's no early... You know, the big conversation about what happens about early game. We don't even need to talk about what's going to happen with the early game. The early game is continuing for AL. This is the first fight that they actually fight themselves, rather than waiting for RNG to fly into them. AL 6-0. This is where the question of, well, what's the difference between... what can you say one team scales better than the other? Well, it really depends on who Snow...
Her mobility, just so difficult to manage. Her ability to choose when and where engages happened is maybe top side RNG finds something, but Harry can just go all out and begin running away. Still has a W to work with, tries to buff himself away, still can keep dodging, getting another Q available. The Q3 not quite there, but Kyle cannot come up.
Move speed out of that play to help himself survive. We do have now another cross map. Ult's coming in bot side, but Croco's here to respond maybe.
That's a fair amount of CC, and that's a huge shutdown going to the Smolder. Ming will likely end up tanking a fair amount of the turret, may well fall, but there's still people coming on over. So I just don't know how much Croco can do. Kyle will come on down. Remember, he was spotted top side, trying to help out his own top laner. Does become the 1-for-1, but the shutdown going the way of LWX is good. Has got a blast cone that will launch him 30,000 miles away. Should be good, but Shanks has flash ult available. LWX cannot get far enough away to stay safe, and the dive is just going further and further wrong as the tape keeps rolling.
Oh my gosh, you can take the WX, biggest power spikes from like a Knight's Vow can very much help your carries, and it gives you some extra cooldown reduction, which, as we said before, is tankiness on Volibear. Kyle on the flank has himself no flash right now. He needs to be a little bit careful.
Mind it, paranoia will not be available, no power outs to this fight, so it is just going to be AO walking up, and the lack of ultimates means no real way to make this happen. Instead, the other side, Croco begins to engage. Flash on him, Tangman Pop Blossoms, gets a fair amount of damage back. The Smolder comes over, but it's not enough to keep Tangman alive. Breathe, gets a decent Q3, but on the other side, LWX dragged over the wall by the all-out. The Dragon surely cannot survive, but there's just enough of an interrupt to prevent anything going down. Breathe does get Kyle, but it's just one back. Everyone else is falling. LWX gets out to safety. Weibo will throw down a Duskbringer to try onto the tower, but there's just no way to do it. They don't need the Herald, they can just walk at the damn thing.
And this is exactly why Dragon here. It's a Chemtech soul, it's not necessarily the game-ending one that you can see from other types, but RNG, it's just another loss for them.
Breathe will try and make something happen with the World Ender, but gets charmed immediately. Shanks playing with his food a bit there. Soul Point about to be confirmed. Let's Wake and ult him, but it will be likely for his death. It's just an attempted steal with a Smolder ultimate from miles away. Mum comes in.
Breaker Nocturne very good at chasing down isolated targets in side lanes, especially with the lethal tempo as well. Which guaranteed kills there. Harry He's quite low HP. He does have all out, and he does have the W still. He's going to go straight through that ultimate there. He can use the all out. They miss the Nico ult.
No, well, they do finally get the kill, but it was not a clean dive. 4 members up here, and they will.
Oh yeah, but Hope's roaming up here as well. The thing about Zeri is Zeri can wall skip to the point where she basically has a semi-global. Look at the amount of members which are being stopped in the recalls right now. They are leaving Ming because they want to kill. It's out. No World Ender for this Dragon fight. Sucks for them. Having World Ender for Aatrox is a huge amount of your damage and also your healing. It allows you to be a tank. Croco hooked.
Maybe he can turn onto him, but he just comes forth and brings the storm. Ming taken low, goes down. That's a big knock into the back line. Tangyuan gets a pop blossom, but it's not to that many valuable people. Shanks over the wall. The lightning crash begins, and they get surging on through. Nothing to be done. LWX gets towards a blast cone, but just doesn't have the damage. The execute is actually online to LWX's credit, but there's just nothing left to be done. It's a full ace, and anyone's legend make it look easy. Just press R on Croco.
And Croco is full HP, Sam. This is the guy that they engaged onto. He's full HP. That was such a disastrous fight, and now you're going to have the huge amount of kills going over and shot them. There's nothing stopping that. No bailout, nothing like that. Renata or anything like that. So, we've got the Smolder coming in to check, and here comes Kyle.
We do find a fair amount of damage. Croco ults, gets onto Tango to do some damage. My god, the initial burst onto the Nico is huge. Breathe having to run away from Shanks on one side. Massive damage back. I'm watching damage begin to fly. There's just nothing left to be done. They're all falling apart.
Tangyuan hides as a minion and gets smited for full damage by Croco.
What happened? I was like, what happened? What does that have to do with damage?
I was sat there thinking, holy shit, Volibear should not do that much. Folks, if you as a Nico hide as a minion, you can get smited and take damage as that minion.
Oh, no!
Swing and a miss there from the Nico in the mid lane.
It must have been.
I have never seen that in pro play, and I think after Tangyuan suffered through that, I don't think he'll be trying that again anytime soon.
God, that's rough, and what a final ignominy to end up what has been an absolute crashing win from anyone's legend. Smiting a minion in mid lane. Nico maybe needs to choose a little bit better option for her method acting. Towards the Nexus they go. A little bit low on the HP bars though. LWX just about alive. Continue to try and hold on best he can. But the mother is called in just after the Nexus falls. RNG.
Something like the Ahri and the Vi kill combo can do a very good job of kind of dissuading that initial engage, or at least starting to stop the resets from the Ahri coming through. It's not the easiest thing to play around because, well,
especially sometimes when it's things like you're doing fun things instead of normal things. So one of my favorite esports memories is when we were kind of making that really dumb. This was NLC.
Yeah.
When I had my sunglasses and I made a dumb They Move in Herds Jurassic Park reference, and we loaded onto the rift, and production independent from us had made the little duck in the river make a T-Rex noise as we loaded onto the rift. Yeah. It was just phenomenal. Completely out of the blue, completely independent. Jurassic Park references everywhere. It was a good time.
It's very, very slippery. His first level cooldowns are quite long though, so you can start threatening that. See that Croco walking towards bot side. Level 6 on it as well. Croco is in way out of position.
Needs to try and avoid the charm. Good flash over the wall. Tango to continue to move on forwards. Croco, does he have a Q up available? I don't know whether he had the Wolf's Frenzy working in the minute. Just ults over. The Cool gonna die here likely. No way! They get something back onto the Vi. And Tanguan has to back away. It's a 1-for-1 in the bot side.
That would be a very important cooldown to wait for if they can. I don't think AL going to give them the chance though. Shanks is really chunking out damage mantras on the other side.
You're way down about half HP. There is a lot of ultimates to work with on both sides. Taken by Croco. Did come down to a smite fight, but of course Mounting Dread is a very useful ability to get secures. In goes Wei. Goes down regardless. We said he would have to trade his life to go on in, but it's a wonderful Lamb's Respite to keep anyone's legend up and about. They get another kill onto Ming. The Alistair gets no value, and they just come away with the kills, and the Dragon Hope can keep running. Remember last game, he's doing it all over again. LWX once again with no mana. The burst fire not quite in range to get it.
But again, the roaming gank squad of RNG head towards the top side of the map.
The Croco, no Lamb's Bite for a little bit, and that's just a face check. Goodbye, Udyr. Nicely played by RNG to get something.
And also, a big thing about when you've got Dark Seal champions in your team, give them the kill, not the assist if you can. More gold over to Tangyuan, and with RNG falling behind of the curve of the game, that is very important. He has himself the one-item spikes. Tangyuan's second ultimate will be up fairly quick.
A lot of people who are going to be flying at your face, the ability to have a little bit more dueling power does make sense, especially considering the cracks there. It's good uptime DPS, but it's a little less
Here comes the
safe.
squad.
This is the squad. Another kill goes over. RNG looking much more coordinated this time. The problem is it's not coming for free because the Heralds drop mid. They will get a tower in trade for this, but into the mid lane they go. This might well be 2 towers for the one trade. It's Lord of the Rings second movie all over again.
gonna say, sorry, you're gonna claim that one. The gold is within 1,000, or within 2,000 rather. It's not completely out of there. Croco's gonna get himself up to 6 marks at 16. Croco is so far ahead of the curve. If he gets to 7 marks for the second range increase, I'm really worried for RNG because at first rank, your 500 range, your short range, Kyle is right in the middle of things now.
Can maybe try and save his life. That's a big knock-up. Croco gets the Lamb's Spite down, but he's even gonna be able to get out of here. I think he's just dead.
I think he's dead. He's completely caught in the middle of things. It's another death. You know, Croco, despite having those marks, is just caught in the middle of things. You need sometimes a bit of that range to not get caught in the thick of it.
It does indeed, and that felt like he came over to try and save his bot laner in particular, and it just doesn't happen. Kyle gets caught, and everyone else comes over a little too late, and RNG actually are making the proactive play
ult before they end up getting completely burst out. This can change.
Oh, Shanks has gone too deep. Anyone's Legend beginning to get picked off. The turnaround damage at this time beginning to fly a little bit harder as Breathe, taken down about 20% HP, but is not critically taken down. And Shanks just
75 range, which is pretty okay for that first upgrade. That move speed can help you disengage. Baronism started off the vision by Anyone's Legend, RNG. They have an Alistair ult to face check, and they have a blue trinket there as well. How quickly can they get in position to contest?
This was the attempted burn. They're going to make it happen. They've got the double AD carries down to 4,000 HP. It's still a way to work when you can get to the backside. The turnaround is huge. Ming flash forward to the double pulverize. Gets a huge charm on a Croco, who still needs to think about ulting. Does not do so yet.
Breathe.
They managed to kill off Ming. That's a pretty good start. Quick into the backline goes Breathe. It's a well-timed Lamb's Respite to buy space, and everyone is so bloody low. Good knockback. Shanks on the other side throwing up massive amounts of damage, but LWX is untouched. Gets 2 at the back of it all, and they will burn off the back of the Baron. 2 dead for that attempted start.
Croco is too low as well.
Again, it's a solid Lamb's Sprite. The problem is the Lamb's Sprite only stops you dying. It doesn't really keep your HP bars that high. And they do get burned down pretty heavily within it. And Wei about to get jumped on here, of course, with the Vault Breaker. Has ways to get out, but the Charm Out has been Wei flashing, trying to get over the wall. Doesn't make it happen. Gets a cease and desist to no avail. Jungler down. Now they can start at the Baron with the man advantage. Smolder, though, begins to roar to life. Kyle's health bar deleted down to about 10%, courtesy of LWX's combo.
Ming needs to get a flash combo, and there needs to be a hell of a fight afterwards. They're not going to get the Baron. They need the fight.
Okay, Ming gets him, but it's not onto the most valuable targets. Croco stays alive for now. The charm afterwards, though, is a phenomenal follow-up. Still not enough to stop the Lamb's Spike coming on through. Keeps the health bars a little higher. Shanks dies. Tang Yuan low, though, and Harry comes back on over to the other side. And LWX still trying to free fire, but he's so low. Hope hops over the wall and gets scorched down. Flash on forwards. Cannot quite get everybody. LWX, it was close, but he cannot make it stick.
And midway through that, Hope also
Self.
LWX, he's had a rough split himself, but this Smolder is something that he's really trying to do his best on. The fight comes again.
That's not a bad engage. Kyle just about getting away, but Croco is down. The turnaround damage is pretty good, but they need to keep firing. LWX untouched.
Breathe.
Means it could be some scary options. Breathe into the backside with a monstrous Culver Week. Does everything he can to break this Baron shove. Anyone's Legend losing both of their AD carries, and they're caught by the enemy Wolfpick. Tango can go over the wall, throw down another charm, won't quite catch Shanks, but will still do enough to get another kill to LWX.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have reached the late game. If this is your stop, please alight from the train here. AL, RNG, they are more than willing to stand their feet on this battleground and see just how... Again, Harry dodges back and splashes the Q onto his teammates. He needs to be careful, actually. The frontline spacing in these fights is so important. Here comes the ult.
Goes gold, that means an ultimate to the backside onto Croco. Still trying to play this one out very low. Indeed, they get a kill onto Shanks. They continue to hop on backwards. The Lamb's Spite is solid, but it's still very low health bars. Ming can start to go forwards afterwards. They get a kill onto Kyle. And the mid and support are just down for Anyone's Legend. RNG continue to try and hunt. LWX still untouched. The double scaling AD carries just cannot stand and deliver.
Well, they don't have one of them. You've got Croco on the other side of the map. Hope is left alone. He is gone towards the death chamber.
And the auto afterwards with a little bit of empowerment secures
game fight. They're going to deny the soul. They can't push into the base, though. So AL will have themselves at least one last fight. In this one, you see that Croco walks forward, kills San Ming as well. That cow went a little too far from his pastures. Croco just about
this Baron, because the death of Ming, and you've got a teleport from Shanks, you can still play this one out. Renekton spotted in the bush. Breathe begins to pull away with the rest of his team. Croco so low, though. My God, he just deletes the Kindred. Even with the flash, he flashes forward to follow. Breathe, still alive. All of your damage is gone because the Kindred fell. And LWX once again roars to a couple more kills. This dragon well and truly awake, and Kyle's going to try and break use onto Kindred. There's just nowhere to go. And the Baron secured. Back away for RNG, and anyone's legend are here to contest. Harry gets into the pit. Kyle on a flank. He is the Rakan. If he can slow down LWX in particular, the value is huge, but an immediate Q. That's a third of Croco's health bar.
And they end up giving up the soul. RNG, now do they look for the fight? Here comes LWX.
Tries to get to the backside, does. Shanks not getting that much value. The small roll comes flying on over. Way onto Croco, gets the cease and desist. Throwing damage onto Croco, who's trading out pretty well here. Throws down his own Lamb's Respite, but LWX on the other side, just marauding. Flying over the countryside, looking for kills and sacrifices. They all look like livestock to him. Dragons and cattle. What a match made in heaven. What a win for RNG, who brings Small to the table a second time, and it looks oh so different to game one.
RNG, they flipped the script from game one. They tried to use the Smolder in game one, and it did not succeed. Game two, a million stacks, it feels like, carry them over the finish line and bring us to game three in Shanghai.
It was like
Early and then also be a late game threat that it can be in question.
Of course, Camille, alongside his Shinsao, pretty good at locking down a slippery target like the Zeri as well, because you can't jump over a wall if she's in a Hex Deck ultimatum. So,
exactly.
While the lane might be
kind of hard to fight around it, jungle is now keeping themselves tied up. Now top lane is potentially going into the fight.
Breathe was just debating going over the wall there, forced a flash out of Croco, who doesn't quite burn down. Tangyuan is here though, and Harry will throw down a gold card, but he's got nowhere to retreat to. He can't flash anywhere helpful, goes over the wall briefly. Shanks now here as well. They flash on forward from Wei, who goes down to first blood, but a hook shot over the wall gets one back in turn. It's a 1-for-1 right now, as Croco coming on over, but remember he's still very, very low, so the Q would have to be hyper valuable to make it worth right now.
And again, this top lane has been the focus of everything. So often top lane is an island. This time it is very much connected to the mainland.
Trample still available, forced a flash out of Kyle. They found Croco as well, who will ward up away, but that means there's nowhere for Kyle to go with no flash and no hook. That means no hope as Breathe claims a kill.
Top side from RNG really starting to fire off. They have a
where they just looked all out of sorts. Ultimates and skill shots all going wide there. Players being on different pages felt much more like they have an idea about how they want to play the game. Anyone's legend, of course, would like to stabilize here. It's not like it's the worst early game ever, but of course giving up a couple kills towards that top side feels a little bit alarming, especially when you
into the ultimate over walls, which means that these scaling carries really want their own top side to be ahead, even though they don't affect it. But Harry, he doesn't have the lead to play this.
Doesn't. He throws down a gold copper. It's on the way. Doesn't get that much value. A Q2 will do it. And the precision protocol and a little bit of help from Wei secures the kill onto this lane. And Ming's in topside. Everyone's here again. And Harry's about to die. There's nowhere to go. A flash pulverized into a headbutt. The Twisted Fate falls. And you just get more value. Here comes Croco. Maybe they can make this one a bit more challenging. Actually, everyone's coming on over. They kick away the Camille. And maybe we spoke too soon. RNG mess up the execution. And Harry survives. And now Breeze's got nowhere to go. Gets a shield from that passive, but cannot get anything more.
And anyone's legend finally arrive in time to
get up to 3. How aggressively do they want to play for this?
Ming has ult now, so I don't think they want to play around him, but Breathe has flash, has ult. How much can you escape here?
Flash for the depth charge into the hook. Nowhere for Breathe to go. Not respectful. The vision control not quite there. Destiny Gate on in. Flash over the wall. And RNG beginning to come apart at the seams a little bit. The turnaround not bad. The Crescent Guard actually coming on in alongside the Severing Bolt. Secure one back. It's Ming that actually ends up securing that kill. Ming in danger though. Nowhere to go. Shanks flash over the wall. Got a W running as well. Will be forced back with a Crushing Maw to break the tether. Severing Bolt afterwards does work, but anyone's
just kind of dealing damage on one item, but we'll see beyond that. There are not enough tanks in this game for Calm to not be a threat, and of course on the other side, Wei will be doing a heck of a lot of damage at the 1 to 2 item mark as well. The AD carries need no explanation, and the top lane as well. Been very, very volatile so far. So, I love this in a lot of ways. It's game 3. If AL win this, it feels like they've gone their way to playoffs. They don't lock it, but here comes
teleport to come on towards the top side, and because RNG pushed for the turret, everyone can turn up. Destiny begins to fire, and I don't know whose Destiny is looking more dire. Ming has got the ultimate, is buying himself some time, but realizes there's not really any way out, so will just give his life on over without blowing the flash. The kill is donated over to Hope, but that does also mean what's burned gets free time on the turret, and that will be the trade. 2 turrets for 1 kill.
That is a worthy death for Ming as well. He body blocks out the Mantra Q from Shanks, which could have ended up leading to LWX's death. And Ming goes down on that top side. It feels like they'll be able to, RNG will be able to answer towards top lane. They won't lose that top lane out of turret, despite the heavy setting of resources towards there from anyone's legend. And Breathe, now you can see the problem of leaving this Camille alone on towers. Typically, you're not going to be able to hit them.
Quite as extreme from anyone's legend.
RNG, you know, they're going to have to deal with this Herald in mid lane. They should be fine with that. I might get jumped into CC. Gets out just okay. Here comes Ming.
Oh, the amount of damage back into Bounce House, and Croco in the spiraling despair falls down into the dirt. No way out of that particular depressive episode. Now he needs to pull back away.
Harry pops his ult on the top side.
Onto the picture-in-picture, you can see that anyone's legend looking to secure their sole point. The problem is it's coming at a massive map cost. Breathe, left alone with a tier 2, that's 600 odd gold straight away.
So that inner turret's going to be a lot of gold over to Camille. That's nasty. 700, picking up the wave as well. They're going to be able to, once again, pull anyone's legend around the map. I don't even know if they can successfully defend this inner turret.
Legend. The problem is if you look in the picture-in-picture, Breathe, looking at the other side of the tier 2, they're teleporting behind the Camille. They're going to try and catch her out. She will get the tier 2, will hook shot over the wall, about to find Shanks, but Shanks misses the Mantra Q, will Hex Tech Ultimatum and buy some space, gets a fair chunk back. I just don't know how easy it's going to be for Breathe to escape. And she jumps over the wall, having landed the tactical sweep. Shanks goes golden and Hope comes over to claim the kill, but everyone coming over, a fairly big ticket ultimate.
Yeah, and he doesn't even get to deny that gold card damage. He pops it just a second too late for that one, and now away with no temporary frontline at half HP. This should be the Dragon going to AL.
Should be. It feels a little bit unfortunate to give on over. In goes the Alistair, trying to get some value. The small road was pretty good, and actually they're now the ones on control of the Dragon. Gets on in, trying to make this one happen, and it is secured. Soul denied. The Spiraling Despair comes onto Harry, will take a massive chunk, and actually throws that onto Shanks a bit as well.
Bot lane again. Harry low HP, but Crocker coming down to make this an uneven fight.
He's got the QSS, they're teleporting in, they just can't see it. That's wild, now beginning to run away. Breathe going the opposite direction, has got Flash and a Dream, but there's just surely nowhere to go. Here's Kyle, and Breathe has got to try and work some magic here with the fancy footsteps. I don't think there's anywhere to go, just QSS 1, get some damage back on the other side. Oh my god, the next second momentum, he flashes out and Breathe gets a kill and runs away, having committed the murder of the century.
Harry before this tanks up Harry before this tanks up an entire goddamn minion wave and gets himself down into kill range of Breathe. Breathe still has his teleport if he wants to go towards the other side of the map. It's an insect, but honestly, with the Baron going down and the kill already claimed, Breathe does not care one bit.
This time the Baron is started. Doing a replay, looks like actually it was a gate away. That's why it was popped. The teleport from Breathe forcing Harry to retreat. Does get out in time. Now, a little bit of an engage onto Ming, who's still got the option to heal himself up. Crocker just dies for it. So it's a 1-for-1 even and then. So your jungler is down, getting the cow, yes, but at what cost?
Yeah, this is not an easy late game for the Twisted Fate.
Vent Chem Soul again, of course, because Croco, I'm not sure who is spotted towards that top side, but it is towards the top side. This should be free for RNG whether they know it or not.
So, Hayal walking in, but they're too late to do anything about this. Has ult and flash as well. It feels like you are in a bad position no matter where you put it.
Even if they get the Baron, it might well come at the cost of this inhibitor. It's down to 6,000 HP, still going down. Ming finally spots what's going on. They're trying to buy space on Wei. The Baron is secure, but the damage afterwards is monstrous. Even in a 4v5, they get one kill. Nautilus burning down. The Harry is interrupted on his reset, and Breathe is still shoving. Even with the Baron resets coming on through, you might get an inhibitor turret here.
I think he'll get one of the Nexus turrets, not even just the inhibitor one. Gets himself a full inhibitor bot side. Can they even force a play onto him afterwards? I feel like Breathe outplays Croco if he's there alone.
Are you sure about this one, Croco? Just trying to slow Breeze a touch option down. Gets a Q2. Hook shot. Nice interrupt, Croco. Does manage to get something back. Breeze still playing. Has got a Starix to work with. Croco still trading. Another Q comes through. The W goes wide. Begins to get some damage back. Hook shot back in. Does surely get the damage. The Hook Tech Ultimatum isn't enough to buy space on the other side. Why is Shanks here? Gets to, I think he interrupted Tangyuan's ultimate teleport is what happened. And
the GA, you can't really leave Harry alone in this top side despite the fact that he's 4 items. Dragon now going to be started from RNG. AL, again, they are not willing to face and give a proper battle to the Smolder. And it's a nasty for that champion alongside the Mercrez means that it is so hard to lock them down. Croco, one last gasp.
Oh, Ming just denies it immediately. The spiraling despair comes on cross alongside a cry of mum. And they will be asking for their uncle, anyone's legend at this point, because there is just no respite. Hope tries to get on to breathe, but there's still a GA to work with. Even if you bring the Camille down to one end, Hope must do something here, but I feel Hope is fleeting in this game.
Hope, you're trying to play around the ghost, trying to play around that ultimate which just ticks off, and sadly this Zeri hasn't died this game but has not been able to determine the outcome. Last year and the year before, Zeri was the queen of late game. In this one, it has not been quite so simple. Smolder has come to play and ruin another game.
I think it might have been demoted to a princess, and we know what dragons do with princesses. They take them hostage and make sure that they win out in the end. RNG, it's been a long time coming, but they finally win a third series in the LPL.
Gonna clear themselves off while EDG are trying to save their bot lane as well.
So the only thing I'll say here is if one of the things that Ziggs is supposed to allow you to do, much like in Ezreal, is to be able to basically just be very hard to deny.
2 levels and you have your first back, you're pretty okay. Yodang finds out Monkey again, stole the camp away from earlier. What more can he do? Gets the knock up. He's got Xiaohu and ZDZ on his side.
Monkey, I think, might have to return home to his own jungle, but there's nowhere to go. The trees are cut down. He is dead to rights.
That's a problem. Champion yourself. You tap someone with a Q, you're definitely not playing at melee range. So
it is a very long range ability.
And, you know, this is now going to be a bit of an issue for EDG because, you know, this Jace is meant to be ahead of the game. Jace is very much balanced. He walks next to the wall.
Phenomenal arrow, crisp, living up to his namesake. That is ice cold.
This is one of the reasoning is when Ziggs gets to push in and chunk you out like that, gets autos on turret. The Ziggs fast use passive does an insane amount of damage to turrets and potentially getting to the point where he can even satchel the turret down for huge plate gold. He's got himself a Dark Seal as well. Feels like he can stay safe and stack up that one as well. Very valuable item on a lot of mages right now if the backline acts. ZDZ's in bot side and he can maybe threaten. In fact, there was a satchel, looks like, on the minimap away from that Aatrox towards the bot side of the map. Arla, we'll see what happens there. Is there a hammer blow away? Not when they've been stunned in place.
Crash down, Shattering Strike. Not that much damage on the run, but Crisp is coming on over. We'll just get to W and it's actually Crisp that is given the kill. They'll get another. The arrow flying on the other side to try and play out this bot side and buy some time. The tower goes down, but it's still going to be ZDZ in a 4-man dive. Does go down. The Snake picks that one up. The Ziggs
through from both these teams. Light, however, on the Nila, very good at killing turrets with the Formless Blade as well. It affects turrets, by the way. It will hit it. So even though been struggling in the 2v2, he managed to escape that. ZDZ and Arla both die for the bot lane's gains. I think this is maybe slightly better for Weibo because I think the Ziggs was taking that turret anyway. Weibo will be happy to get scores.
Exactly that. They are still going to have to think about trying to contest for this Herald. They're coming over. The arrow lands. That's onto the Rakan. Onto the backside. ZD does so much damage onto the Snake, who's surviving for now, but just doesn't have enough in the tank to get away from the Aatrox, who just runs at him. The shockwave on the other side is good, but Monkey will still die, and Weibo win out the fight.
ZDZ 1v2's the bot lane that has been determining this again. Fisher has teleport, could have come down to the play if he wanted to. Instead, gets himself top lane out of turret and gets himself some gold in hand, and that'll get him on his way towards his second item as well. It's been a big thing in the LPL, actually, just putting a mid laner into a side lane. It was much more apparent with the Azir, which is called global banned right now due to a bug. But still, getting something like an Orianna, a little bit of extra gold turret.
No, he's not, and they're going to prove a bit difficult. The Snake gets jumped on, takes a lot of damage back. The Magna Storm afterwards does a lot of work. He's just nowhere to go. Throws up the ultimate on top of his head and is actually buying a fair amount of time as Vampire comes on in. But the Apotheosis light shot on the tower. It becomes a 1-for-1. They'll lose the tier 1 as a result, but look at the shockwave afterwards. Pulls Yodang back, and Weibo have overplayed their hand.
Fisher teleports back into the play after getting some gold on the side. You walking towards the river now. You need to have eyes on all the threats from Weibo.
Do indeed. Vampire goes forward, gets interrupted by a wonderful Q from ZDZ. Pull back away. Flash on forwards. This Aatrox proving monstrous indeed. Still goes down for it, perhaps a little bit bold. Light not here yet. Could still look for a flash slipstream, and the Apotheosis gets onto one. Has yet to use the ultimate. Can still look to go forwards after this. Is bounced away by the Sam.
ZDZ goes forward and finishes off the support. I don't think that's that valuable, but still, it's a decent amount of damage and allows Weibo to at least get themselves into river. They'll get themselves the dragon, and EDG once again don't check.
So much value. Light needs to back away. The bouncing bomb goes wide, but Light on this Neela just getting nothing done. Can find no angle to get in and use the combos. A shot blast deletes Yodang, the Iron Horse. Flavor just like hobbled in the lane.
The combo is really separated from Weibo yet again. This Neela doesn't have the gold to go in it alone and brawl through it. And with the smite down, EDG, despite the fact that they haven't won a lot of clean fights this game, will get themselves a free run at Baron. ZDZ has World Ender. He's spotted on Vision. He might be able to look for a big fight, but it still looks so dangerous for Weibo.
I think just had to flash there as well. Down to 3,000 HP. Where is Monkey? There's Leica pushing up in the mid lane as well. They will secure the Baron.
They're both kind of hobbling away from that bot side fight. You see that Light looks for the all-in mid lane. Did he force a flash out of mid lane? He ended up at least forcing out that. Yes, he did. Very close to the kill.
Yeah, it does indeed, and that's just what you get to do if you get to auto a bit more on the healing and shielding from your Apotheosis. Always feels really good, especially just the raw amount of damage you do. Like, it is the hardest scaling AD ability in the game, I think, at level 16.
You need to know that you're likely to not make it out of one of those plays. Now, because EDG have managed to group up again with the last of their Baron buff, they'll claim themselves this mid lane inner turret, despite the fact that they failed to get the bot lane inner turret. CDZ does have flash. You can potentially look for this.
Lands onto the snake. There's no Mikhail's quite yet. That's so much damage flashing away. Still has a satchel charge. It sends him the wrong way. The damage comes all through. Weibo finally find the engage they've been looking for. Denied so much of the last few moments. The snake, so much of the target access finally works out. Weibo
so careful around playing around vision though. Weibo looking for flanks.
No, they get the Magnet Storm, but it's a solid Crescent Guard to deny, but Monkey might have to flash. I don't think it's quite off cooldown yet. He's trying to try and eat a Monkey, but the tether's still there. Nowhere to go. The Redemption buys healing and speeding, doing some work as a massive bomb comes on thing. Light goes forwards. Apotheosis isn't enough.
And he doesn't get the kill. The healing and shielding is too much from E
towards the backside. They still want to fight it because a lot was burned.
Here comes ZDZ. He's going to be a huge flanking factor.
Vampire?
Here comes the World Ender. I think they're looking for the fight.
Lots of low health bars. You can do a lot of work. The Shockwave into the jump blast does so much work. Yodang solo crashing down away from the fight. Misses the Q1. ZDZ World Ender down. Arrow immediately cleansed out. ZDZ still trying to do work. He's in a 1v4, but he's an 8. He's a lethality Aatrox. He cannot survive, and the Baron still goes EDG's way.
While this happens, Xiao Hu dies. They don't even have the mantra Q. Yodang was looking for a miracle steal, but can't get into the fight. EDG, they have so rarely clutched out the late game, but in this one, they form up as a 5-man unit with the calls.
How it's supposed to work, but I'm not sure that this is going to be a functional thing. But honestly, that bot lane from EDG proved way too much. The mid game has proved far too hard for Weibo to consistently find the picks. And despite the fact they're higher up the standings, despite the fact it's EDG at 2 and 10, with a roster that has just struggled to find anything resembling consistency, game 1 regardless is looking like EDG's to win.
The last hit on the Nexus goes down. It's not a light show. There's a snake in the... He's found so much fame on in the past, and the Poppy now against the Tristana as another kind of anti-jump champion against the Aatrox and the Rakan. I think this has huge value.
Okay. They have managed to lock that one in. They've got the front to back. They've
from EDG. Well, it's the rookie everyone besides top lane from EDG. Particularly this mid lane, he's had a mixed split. He started off playing a lot of the Azir, and he really flubbed some big moments for his team. He's not really been star-studded in the way that he was in LDL. This game, now with the back, hard for Fisher to get into a position to have a good wall down here.
Be a very blind wall.
Yeah, of course, one of the other combos they want to play towards later in the game, not now, and of course Ala doesn't have teleport anyways, of course, Talia Poppy. You normally see that from mid-jungle, but with this Ala pick in the top side can be pretty big in terms of setting up your own terrain for your...
Now, still sticking around here. They want to make this work. Here comes Weibo. 2v3 currently. The damage back is huge. Don't quite get crisp, and it'll be a 1 for none right now. Big chunks come on through as Fisher gets the wall. Can look to shovel on through as Xiao Hu gets the thread on to try and hold him in place, but it will be the 1 for 1 as Fisher comes out to claim the life for Xiao Hao.
Okay, so Fisher, we said he had...
And they are up with the early objectives and kills, but actually this is not a great moment from Xiao Hu, who has a flash and may be forced to pop it here, but I don't even know whether it's worth doing, because where on earth does he go? Kill over to EDG's jungler.
And
that huge amount of damage from Crisp, who immediately gets to be thrown back, but the wall can come on forwards. Fisher looking to get something more. The quickness comes on through, but the threaded volley still going. The seismic shove onto Light forces him away. Crisp now low. Xiao Hao is here, begins to go in with the Nocturne ultimate and does delete Fisher, who went a little bit alone by himself. Now the Crescent Guard coming on through. Xiao Hao's got nowhere to go. On the other side, the tether lands. Massive damage onto the snake with flapping away. Monkey in a 1v3 cannot get anybody. And EDG, despite getting so many low health bars, get nothing. And you're right, it's not ended. Vampire blocks out a Q as Snake tries to recall, but has nowhere to go. Oh, EDG. It looked so good until it really
to start the fight on their terms after EDG had taken the first swing. Weibo, they just managed to, well, they just lost their gold lead. They explode. Really going to be the same kind of value.
The mini-map as well as we zoom on over. The Herald has been started and will likely be claimed by Weibo Gaming, who have got themselves grubs, couple towers, 2 dragons. They're feeling pretty okay with this early game. Gold onto the Tristana as well feels pretty nice, and what had been a relatively close affair isn't anymore. And of course, you know, you've still got to deal with the fact that Smolder, a couple deaths to his name, but isn't out of the game exactly.
Record where someone has a world record for eating a load of vehicles. They don't have vision here. Vampire does have flash. He's not going to use it.
Yep, that one's sad. A little bit too close to the sun for a vampire, which means very extreme sunburn. ZDZ does go forwards. Turret comes on down. Smolder ults to clear the wave. Think they'll deny the second charge, and they do so. But the fastest soul timer either. Third dragon at 18 and a bit minutes. Isn't that great? Ult comes on through. Not huge value from that, actually. They get the turret. Teleport aside, and the Nocturne ult comes on down. Tristana will solo out the dragon at the very least.
Well, there's your flash. There you go. A vampire ends up...
Glorified fairy.
That is a huge overstep from Fisher. He can teleport back in. Monkey walking up. He has the temporary front line. How much time can they buy, though?
Fair amount of work. So overcomes the Smolder ultimate, doing a lot of healing and DPS. ZDZ throws back some with a buster shot. Does light. Dragon goes down. Is now soul. Crisp goes into the backside, but is hooked up immediately. The seismic shove buys some space. Ale goes forward, and Smolder's free firing, doing as much as they can, but it's not quite enough as yet. It's a 1 for 2 until Xiaohao claims another. Snake, no real way to go. He's got nothing left but a flap, but an auto attack or two onto the wolves. These items could still prove to be the undoing of Weibo Gaming. It's happened to many a team around the world. Xiaohu now looking for a flank and a big mantra Q. It's well shielded, so it doesn't get that much value.
Chris was on a flank too, and here they go.
Trying to get into the backside, so still alive though is the damage. Oh my god, just deleted. They've gone too far. The jungler's dead and the Baron's up.
And an option to bomb that tower. Monkey instead going to go over here, but now with Monkey out of position, there's no smite close to the Baron, and there's no front line close to the Baron. Ala's going to get himself a combo, but that's gone way too far.
But the Snake's coming on over. They've not killed him quite yet. He's still got the ultimate to work with. This Poppy not quite dead. Turning it around, flashing out. He's alive. ZDZ in a difficult position, finally getting the reset. Trying to do some work. A Snake, though, can delete one back. It's a top laner for a top laner trade, and now the danger commences for both teams. Monkey taken low. Light trying to find an angle to do some work, but Smolder picks up
teammates as they can. EDG brute force their way into the river again. Crisp has flash. What can you do with it?
Ale's got TP. ZDZ doesn't. If they can hold on 20 seconds, Ale can rejoin the fight, and it'll be a while before ZDZ can be here. Down to half HP. Smolder continues to be a problem. Trying to queue through the Elder Dragons. Monkey taken desperately low by the explosive charge. Doing some work. Fisher pretty low. They have to back away. They can't get it. The Elder's about to go over to Weibo Gaming. It's secured.
Ale has teleport in 2 seconds. What can they get, though, Weibo, before the front line arrives? It's a failed Elder fight for EDG. Low health bars. Monkey's surely going to die here. Stack up even more. 330 now. You're going to give the Baron. You can't fight this. The Elder's there already. And I don't think you're going to throw out the Smolder ult in regards to trying to steal this one in a miracle way. Ale made a bit of a mistake in the front line there, which did lead somewhat to the 1-for-1, but the extra damage from Weibo.
EDG do want to try and stand and fight at least somewhat, but the wave is pretty huge with a double cannon minions. Here comes the Weaver's wall. Over they go. The lights are put out. Crescent guard down. Smolder ultimate comes across a few. It does prevent the tower going down for now, but
then that leaves EDZ alone in the bot side. EDG, they needed to make something out of that because now the base is broken. Elder buff is off. That's why they went for that play, but they lose themselves. Top lane in a turret after the failed defense of it.
And want to fight it. They're going to try and do so by shoving through mid lane. You can understand why that's a decision process. As Fisher looking for potential weavers.
Fisher,
split off the team. Remember, there's still an opportunity for Poppy to ult people out. That makes it a 3v5 in the pit. Can look to steal it. He's knocked over the wall by the buster shot. And he steals it from over the wall. It's a wind becoming lightning. Can they strike twice? Because it's wind, fire, and ice that will break the hearts of Weibo Gaming.
How many times are we going to see this Smolder get to late game? But it's not even about him. It's about built up for Ale. Getting very tanky in this late game. Again, we said that Poppy is a pretty difficult champion to get through. It really is just Tristana that can kill the tank. Xiaohu's not going to be able to bring that much to bear with the late game karma who's starting to fall off. EDG, they get mid lane inner, bot lane inner, maybe get themselves the bot lane inhibitor turret as well.
Weibo now on the defensive for the first time in many minutes. Into the inhibitor they go, and EDG just group up as a 5-man ball of death. And Weibo have to find somewhere to hold on twice. Is going to be hard work, I think it's fair to say. The W's continue to fly. The sneezes from this dragon looking more like weapons of mass destruction at this point in the game.
See ZDZ in the bot side pushing up. He has teleport. Ale pushing up the top wave as well. That's a flash hook.
Go, it's the double knockup bounce into Smolder's mother, roaring on through. It's a family affair. Crisp goes in, cannot get that much. It's a solid double knockup. ZDZ into the backside. The Snake still has flash, still has GA, still alive, still not down. We'll finally take it down as Light is still doing work, still not going down, and they actually kill the Smolder! No!
And as EDZ comes onto the Snake, he doesn't have the flash, he couldn't get away, and it's about the surely going to be a game 3 on the table.
It's a bit of an ironic, painful Baron power play that turns up at the bottom of the screen. 6,000 gold owned, and the game still ends in Weibo's favor.
The death time is too long. EDG, a stolen Elder, a comeback in the late game, even through the hands of Smolder, not enough to bring this to a 2-0. Weibo, the consistently inconsistent team, cross the finish line and bring it to a game 3.
I can pin him down. I like the Camille. I'm a big fan of the Camille. We get the Volibear as well. We've not seen much Volibear in the OPL yet. It's not looked incredible, but it has been banned quite a few times today. He has to come all the way around, though. It's going to be a long time till Monkey can influence this play. Ala is essentially in a 2v1 for the time being. Can flash towards his jungler here. The lightning comes down. Ala 1 HP and he survives! The flash after first blood. Fantastic play in the 2v1 from Ala. Monkey comes in to save the day.
You don't have level 6 on Crisp. Vampire does because it's courtesy of the center lane. So in terms of the support versus not quite support, it's advantage over to EDG. Chances of some flashes coming topside. Oh, here comes TF.
Here we go. Play on towards Ala. They take him down. Xiaohao grabbing that kill. And that evens up the kill score. Weibo getting themselves onto the board. But this is 6 grubs taken now for EDG. They trade it for their plates up, but they can move towards Dragon.
I think it's just forcing someone to respond in mid lane so they know. Oh no, Ala, dude, you were so far ahead of this game. Please don't do this. He has flash. I think he's blowing it minimum.
Oh god. I don't know if this TP was needed, to be honest. It was already 3v1 on the dive. Xiaohu comes in to collect the kill, and honestly, I'm more than happy.
But I suppose it leaves bot lane alone for plates to go over to EDG. We've had a lot of very quick map movements in the world. It means that, you know, we were talking about how Camille was talking about trading with passive earlier. Really hard to do that. Monkey has ult. He can just chancel a tower here.
Oh, the flash comes out from Light, but there's no escaping that combo. Monkey flash stun, followed by Fisher's ultimate. Beautiful kill.
Is this the most proactive? There's a lot of vision here.
I don't know. I think this might be a fight. Stun comes through onto Crisp. TP immediately. Fisher has flash and will be forced to use it. Vampire's TP'd real deep for this one. Light the target, but he gets to the backside of the play. Crisp, 1 HP and doesn't have his ultimate. As Xiaohao forced to flash away. ZDZ, there is no escape. Taken down by the railgun of the Snake. And now Xiaohao slowed as well. The Snake is taking over this fight. The root lands and Vampire takes another.
And despite all of the vision set up for that, everyone just shows up and says, all right, we're going to have a fist fight. Vampire starts things off very, very aggressively, but somehow manages to walk out. I mean, he's a tanky Nautilus. This is actually one of the bonuses we said from the draft. When you've got the center in the Nautilus, Vampire, we know he likes to be aggressive.
Honestly, but Vampire just flashes straight onto Light, gets stunned up, but then in the meantime, Crisp already used his ult. In the previous bit of play, Xiaohu 1v1ing Ala to be back to the days where Ari is actually a damage dealer. It's so much more fun to watch. Speaking of fun to watch, Monkey is enjoying watching this plate of meat who's trying to waddle away from him, but that's a snack if ever I've seen one. And Fisher going to be the one to gobble it up.
I mean, you can even see Xiaohu. He might be an assassin who can win 1v1s, but he doesn't want to be stuck here. Crisp delays for his mid laner and gives up his life for the Ari who escapes.
Xiaohu's just like, see ya, Crisp. I'm out of here. No way I'm sticking around for this one. Herald in on the top side. This is going to be
the wall. He has a flash for a stun as well. It's really dangerous to face up against Monkey, who's, you know, 0-0-6, gone for the dead man's plate, hasn't even gone towards something like the Knight's Vow, which we sometimes see from everyone.
The Volibear, and then you've got the range advantage with the Jace as well. We could be in trouble here, as that's a nice easy pick onto the Snake. Monkey could be next as Ala TPs into the play as well. Crisp taking a bit of damage. Monkey forced to use his ultimate just to escape here. Vampire should be taken down as well. Hunted back in. Triple depth charge. The charm does land, but Vampire should be able to get out of this one. He's tanky. Is he tanky enough? No! The lightning from the sky from Monkey.
Punish EDG if they make missteps, and they are very much a flawed team. They've been doing that a little bit. Right now, they might catch the Snake again.
Oh boy. Okay, ward spotted out. They warded over at the worst. £2 looking to steal someone's spot in playoffs. There's a couple of teams giving an opening here. Crisp. Oh no, the hook goes wide from Vampire. It's a bit of a disaster. Still huge damage onto Crisp anyway, as he is chunked out. Ult comes into play, but he can't survive that one. Ala to pick up the kill. And now suddenly Baron on the cards for EDG.
So, and they already used the TF ult for that too. So you use the TF ult, your front line is down. This is all on Xiaohao trying to do something. ZDZ is teleporting for an inhibitor stroke because they don't want to go for the fight. I don't think he's looking for a flank. They're giving up Baron, maybe looking for a miracle steal.
TP for TP. Someone else has gone to answer. I think it's Fisher. Is in. They go 50-50 on this one. The damage from Xiaohu. Allah gets a shield from the railgun, but is it enough at this point? Xiaohao is onto the back line. The snake goes down. They won the fight. Weibo make the magic happen, and Fisher left alone in the middle of nowhere. Suddenly, actually in a 1v1 with ZDZ. Fisher might go down, and he flubs the flash as well.
Where the game was meant to be won, just like in game 2. But when push comes to shove, this team has just not been able to clutch it out. They throw another game munch.
Absolute heartbreak for EDG. And I will say, Xiaohu is having a whale of a time in this game. The Ari is looking clean as hell. He sets it all up for the team. And light player, Xiaohu forced to use his ultimate.
Oh, God.
Railgun down to... What? The diving in the meantime. ZDZ just goes under the tower. Light and Crisp went in to help out as well. This is going to be triple in him. The speed at which Weibo have flipped everything on its head is unbelievable.
I feel like we should rename this team to EDJ. It's Edward Jenga. This tower has completely fallen apart within minutes.
I hope there's not a drinking game on each brick, because they are going to be battered at the end of this one. Shockwave goes wide. ZDZ dives in. Charm lands once again. Xiaohu is taking them apart. And so Xiaohu, as he dives onto Fisher. In the meantime, Xiaohu forcing them onto the Nexus. The Snake doesn't have the damage to do anything about it. ZDZ threatens Monkey once more. Weibo in 27 minutes after a ridiculous series finally finish things out and delete EDG.
These were some of the best highlights from all of the LPL Spring matchups of the day. Which moment was your favorite? Let me know in the comment section below. This is OP, and I'll see you tomorrow. Take care.